Hey guys, welcome back to The Uncommon Path. This is episode 8, and we're interviewing Brandon, a 28-year-old serial entrepreneur based here in Singapore. What was really cool is Brandon was a fan of the show, and he messaged me on Instagram saying he'd love to come on and share his experiences of building 4 businesses in his 20s. And we got to learn a lot about his journey. We talked about his mindset, how he scaled his businesses, how he started them from scratch, and all the challenges he's faced over the last few years. And we dive deep into the current businesses that he's running. But you guys are going to get a lot of value from this. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So Brandon, for those who don't know you, who are you and what have you built?
Hello everyone, my name is Brandon. I'm 28, going 29 soon. I'm an entrepreneur myself, and I've built a few business over the years. The first business I started when I was 21. It's actually a woodworking business. It was a custom furniture business. I started it when I was in army actually. I got pretty badly injured in army, and it was just bought out of my mind, honestly, to be honest, because I mean I can book out every single day, and there's literally nothing I can do in a camp as well. So I just started exploring like what can I do like outside of this like super boring life in a sense. So I chanced upon a video online. There's like building using pellet recycling. It was really like in thing during back in the day, in like 2015, 2016. And I was looking, hey, I can actually build this, right? Why not? Let's just try it out. And actually I decided to, let's just take some old pellets and dismantle it. And I built it and I just posted it in Carousel. And actually did really, really well, surprisingly. And just step by step, I built the first business from there. But I think maybe I should also go back a little bit into why I decided to go down this entrepreneurship path in a sense, because when I was 5 or 6 years old, actually my parents weren't really that well, and they were like going to separate. So it was really a tough time during that period in a sense where I mean parents separating is never ever the easiest thing in a sense for anyone, but especially for a young kid, and you have to go through it. But I think the reason what made me who I am today was also because of experience as well. So it's actually very valuable in a sense where you go through that tough period, and it put the mindset into me where basically I've never had to never had the mindset of like needing to study to make money in a sense, because my mom, she's very entrepreneurial herself as well. So she has started a couple of business before. So I mean, growing up, following her around and stuff. So it was a very, very valuable experience to see, hey, at the end of the day, to go to uni, to study and stuff, the end of the day, the point is to make money, right? In a sense. Of course, having a career and stuff, but you still need money. So how can I sort of, what are the other ways in order to achieve that goal instead of just going through school, and then is there what was the other way in a sense? And I myself did not go to university, so I started that business when I was in army. So straight after army, just continued that business. I decided not go down the university route, although I could have got into a pretty decent local U, but decided not to do it because ultimately I did not see the point of that in a sense.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I think it's super interesting because, I think when Singaporeans, all Singaporean men have to serve 2 years in the army. I think that can be a very defining period for a lot of people. I met a lot of people from different backgrounds, and you also get to, you get put into scenarios where you're really tested. And then obviously you got injured, which is a whole nother thing. So that's a very defining moment, I think, in a lot of Singaporean men's lives. And for you, so you take me back to that time in the army. You're injured, you're super bored. You see a video, but like going from watching a video to actually starting a business, you said you listed it on Carousel. So Carousel, for anyone that doesn't know, is it's kind of like a Facebook marketplace for Singaporeans, and it's super popular here. I've been using Carousel for like 10 years now. Just sell secondhand goods, but it's great. Great place to, great to start a business. So yeah, take me back to that beginning for you. Like, how did you go from watching a video to actually, starting a business?
I think it was really like just out of the spur moment. Like I said, that the reason why I got to that decision was because of my sort of childhood experience of that period where, to me, I'm a lot more flexible in a way compared to where I did not have a fixed idea of doing this. I'm always trying to explore new ideas. I'm always trying out new things, and like I've changed hobby probably every 3 to 6 months, and I love trying out new things. So during that period, it was just something that I was like, hey, there is a like opportunity in it, because that was the first business I've started. Before that, I do not have too much idea or even like how to register business, like how to start like anything. I have no business background other than like a little bit of things that I learned from my mom. Other than that, I have no idea how to do a business as well. I was just treating it as a hobby, honestly, when I started out building, and I find it pretty interesting. I studied interior design in Polytechnic, so I do have some design background in a sense. So that was something, and I'm quite a hands-on person. So when I saw, hey, this is something that I can try to do while I was like doing nothing anyways, then I just build it and then sell. And surprisingly, the orders just kept coming and kept coming. And I think I was quite lucky to sort of caught the period where Carousel was pretty new, and they were sort of pushing it really hard as well in terms of their own marketing. So there was a lot of people coming onto the platform. So the growth was there on the platform. So my company grew with the platform as well. So I think that there was a bit of a luck involved as well, choosing the right platform at the right time. Because previously, right, for a custom build sort of company, right, when you don't have a platform like Carousel around, you just list it online and try to do your own marketing and stuff. The chance of people finding you is really, really, really low. Yeah. So I sort of caught that win in a sense. So it did pretty well. But from there, of course, as we grow, there's more and more issues that you face, and just have to solve them.
Yeah. So were you building everything yourself?
Yeah. I was building every single thing myself. I was dismantling the pallet myself, and I was building it myself as well.
So the pellet, you mean the wooden thing? So you would take recycled ones, and then you repurpose them and make them into furniture and stuff.
Yeah.
So were you getting those is it ballads or pellets? Pellets, right?
Pellets.
Did you have to buy them, or was it like free?
You do get some free, but for the better quality ones, you do have to buy them. Yeah. So but it is always tricky because without transport, right, to carry the pallet. So one funny story is that I started business at home actually. So imagine the mess I made at home. Yeah, trying to like saw the wood and cut and build everything together. Also because of that, right? That was where I got sort of chased out by my mom. You go and find somewhere to run this. Doing it at home it's too much. So also because of that, right, my mom chasing me out to go and find a place as a workshop, right? That is where sort of leads me to my other businesses, but which I'm still doing right now.
Yeah. So you did the business for 3 years. So what you ORD'd means like finishing army. You finished. So did you start the business like at the beginning?
No, nearer to the end.
Oh, nearer to the end. So you already had you could go full time essentially for the last 2 years.
Yes.
Okay. So take me, you've done that for 3 years. You're making good money. How easy was it to just close it, like stop doing it and move on to the next thing? Or were you already working on your next business while doing that?
Yeah, I was really working on my next business, which is where just now I was mentioning when I got chased out my own house, right? To go and move somewhere to do my working. So I found this place. Initially, it was called the Yellow Cage. It's located at Geylang. So it's basically a huge industrial factory, about 8,000 to 9,000 square feet. and they have a lot of different units, like small units, and they are sort of more of a creative focus where a lot of makers and creatives are there to make that stuff. So I managed to find that space to do my stuff. But after 6 months, that space is probably it's really small. It's probably about half of this room. Yeah, so it's a very small space, but it's good enough at the start to sort of get me going. But after that, I just run out of space. I had to move after 6 months to a much bigger industrial space. But I was still very close to some of the tenants there because I was there every single day for like 6 months. So I was very close with some of the tenants that stayed at the space. But after a couple of years where I was growing this working business, right, with my own space, then actually the old tenants told me that, hey, the place is going to close down because the previous management owed the landlord like, I think 6 months worth of rental or something. They were asking if someone is willing to take over. If not, they're going to close down and shut down the space. So I saw the opportunity. Hey, actually, this is a very interesting idea. Let's just do it. I took over the space straight after that. So and I tore down everything and rebuilt the space out. Yeah, that was that business is called Tinkertank, which is still around today, and is the main focus of what I'm doing right now. So.
Yeah. So if someone doesn't know what tinkertank is, how would you describe it?
I would say we are a creative co-working space for all creatives, makers, and entrepreneurs. If you are a creative business and you don't mind having sound, don't mind having dust, we are the place for you. We are the best place for you because you get to meet a lot of different creatives and get to work together and talk to each other and talk about business as well. Because at the end of the day, being a creative, right? I think the biggest part where a lot of creative business miss out on is the entrepreneurship part, where how can you scale, how can you grow, what is the next step, how to run this business properly. Yeah, a lot of creative people focus too much on the creative part, but miss out on the business side of it.
Yeah. Did you have a business plan going into this? Did you do market research, or was this really just like a hunch you had and you're like, okay, this is, a problem maybe you have yourself, so you're going to do it? Like, how did you actually come up with the idea?
Yes, the main deciding factor was that this was a problem that I have. That's why I'm doing it. Yeah. So during that point, I have no idea about market research or any of this, honestly. So it was just that, hey, when I was looking for a space, when I was starting out doing working, right, this was the only space that I could have found to offer me this option. This was the only option available in the whole of Singapore. I'm pretty sure there's other people that have the same problem as me. Let me just try this out. Yeah. And luckily it worked out pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the interesting thing. The more I talk to people who started their own business, the more I realize like it is really, if you don't have an idea, maybe, but you want to start your own business, like the first thing you could do is probably look at a problem that you need to solve for yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you have that problem, most likely there are other people that have their problem. And if there's nothing out there then to solve that problem, then you could be that person.
I think majority of the business is a problem solving. Is basically solving people's problems and saving people time. Yeah. Majority of the business that can, especially at the start, they can grow pretty fast. Yeah, it's this sort of businesses.
Yeah. So you've been doing that for 4 years now? Or
I would say there's a bit of overlap between the work and business when I started. So it's probably about 5-6 years.
5-6 years now.
Yeah, 6
and
years.
I saw that you have 4 different outlets now.
Yes, correct.
So you started with just one, and then you scaled to 3, 4.
Yeah, that's right.
How long did that take? Was it very fast, or did you have to take some time?
Probably I would say one year, one location in a sense.
1 year, one location.
Actually, we have 5, but recently we had to close down one because the landlord is taking back the building to tear down and rebuild it into a new building. So yeah.
Jeez. So what was that process like? Did they just say, by the way, you gotta leave?
Yeah, I mean, it was fine. Actually, we were planning to revamp that location anyways. So it was just right timing in a sense. So we had to save money and to revamp.
Yeah. How did you? So I think a tricky thing when it comes to business, from what I hear, not through my own experience, but from what I hear, is that it's when you do your first, like let's say you open your first location, right? And things go well. I think taking the next step to open the next, outlet, the next location can be very scary for some people, right? I think it's like, just because it works well now doesn't mean it'll work. Just because it works well in one location doesn't mean it's going to work well in another location. So how did you go about, like, what was your thought process behind, where to find the next location, or was it really just like an instinct?
Not really instinct, because honestly, I mean, once you start running a business, you have all the underlying numbers right on your hands. You can see everything and you can see all the numbers. If the numbers make sense, just go for it. I mean, you can, of course, like finding location and stuff, you can list all the pros and cons and stuff to find the sort of the correct location, and also your target audience, where they stay and stuff. It's really important as well. So once you have the numbers, the decision making process is actually a lot more straightforward. And I did not have a fear of failure in a sense. That it would never cross my mind that if I fail, then what will happen? I don't really think of that at all. I just go ahead and it just gets stuff done. So I guess that is sort of my strongest point as well. Yeah, when there's a problem, I solve it. When there's something, I go and do it and get it done. Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from? Was that something from your childhood, or is that something you developed?
I think it's from my childhood, because as I mentioned, my parents divorced when I'm pretty young, so I was really independent since when I was very, 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 since I was young. It was sort of it was a trait that I was forced upon in a sense, but of course it requires. I mean, of course, along the way, I did go into a lot of books about business, about a lot of audiobooks about business as well. So I learned a lot through those books as well, and step by step, I try to implement some philosophies and some things that I think applies to myself, and we just stick to it.
Yeah. What do you think? Also, did you ever have a plan B?
No. No, I never ever have a plan B. I never the thought of going back to find a job never ever crossed my mind, in a sense. Yeah. This was the path that I chose to do, and I'll stick it through. Yeah. And I think currently I'm at a point where, I mean, like, even if the business don't do well, I don't have much to worry about, in a sense. Yeah, financially quite okay, quite stable as well. So we just try to push as much as can. Yeah.
So when you finish, do you think part of that, like you said, you're financially good? Do you think that that's something that's important when people start a business? Is that you need a bit of financial cushioning, just in case, if something goes wrong?
I think this is a sort of a common problem with Singaporeans, in a sense, where, I mean, growing up, we are probably the most comfortable people on earth, honestly. I mean, you have literally nothing to worry about. School is paid for. As long as your parents have a job, you can live pretty comfortably. You have a HDB. Once you grow up, work, CPF, HDB, that's about it. So it is a challenge to sort of get out of that mindset of, like, I need sort of this amount of money to achieve this amount of goal at this age kind of mindset, where I think a lot of people are stuck in. But of course, not every single person has the same situation. So not every single person can, I can't apply it to every single person, but ultimately, as long as you have a dream, right, there's sacrifices. There's no way to get around it. If you want to try it, you definitely have to take the risk. Yeah. And then it's how much your risk appetite and how much you have in your hands. If you're not married, you don't have a girlfriend, you're still young, what do you have to risk, man? Like, honestly, at most you won't move back. I mean, like, if you're still staying at your parents' house, like, what do you have to lose, honestly? Might as well give it a try, right?
Yeah. And was that a mindset that you got just reading books, or did that mindset come naturally to you?
I think it's just a personal development over the years. Yeah, it's just the drive rather to prove people wrong as well. Sometimes I think that is one thing that really drives me forward. Yeah, to prove that hey, some people think that this might not work. I'm gonna prove you can, and it can be done. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you have, I want to go back to the two other businesses that you have. So you have tinkertank, and I know you have a interior design company.
Yeah.
And also a event. Would you say an event space company?
Yes.
So yeah, take me through how old those businesses are. And
okay, so for the actually, I think I might want to go a little bit further back. So right after I stopped my working business, right, I actually joined another furniture business. Yeah, they actually offered me shares to be a director, to be the art director for them for that business. So they were a much bigger company than me at that point of time. They don't do custom furniture, but they do those, table slabs, like one slab of table, one slab of wood with tables. So I actually joined them for, I think, close to a year, because I knew that they were a much bigger company than me, and I know that I can learn a lot going there, just being there and learn how to operate. Because like I said, I have no idea how to operate a business, how to grow, how to scale. So the reason why I jumped them is purely just to learn how can.
So this was, take me through the timeline. So this was while you were doing Passion Woodwork.
No, right after, like, I stopped Passion Works to join this, but the co-working part is right at the end of Passion Works, which was right at the end of the working business.
Okay, so you're art director for this furniture company.
Yes.
While doing the co-working space.
Yes, correct.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I was there only for about 9 months or 2 months. Forgot what is the exact time, but I was there for a while. But I really learned a lot there, and I think like taking the courage to sort of drop whatever I'm doing in my working business to join this business was a huge decision as well. Because honestly, I make a lot lesser by joining them. But I figured that in order to move myself forward, right, more than anything, I have to take this step. You have to, because I'm trapped in my bubble of like doing things every single day, making the furnitures and making all the operation works every single day. But if I don't take this step to go and learn from people who have grown, who have already did that and move on, it will take me a lot longer. So in order to shortcut the step, and I just did, hey, let's drop this, let's join them. We can see how this goes. I joined them for about 9 to 12 months, and after that I figured, okay, this is not for me as well. But I did learn a lot when I was there, so it was definitely more than worth it.
Yeah. So you went from working for yourself, making 5 figures a month, to then working for somebody else, and then going back to working for yourself.
Yeah.
So so I was asking about the two businesses. You worked there, and I'm guessing you brought that into context because it helped you learn how to start more businesses. Like how does that relate to your two businesses?
You mean the business that I joined as art director?
Yeah.
I mean, it's more like how do you operate a proper business? Because like even down to the accounting side of the business, down to the small details, how to bring in inventory from overseas with different suppliers, and how to even locally what are the different things that it's available. A lot more things that I was aware that actually out there it's available. So these are all valuable lessons that if without sort of guidance, if you were to do it yourself when you first, it's absolutely nightmare.
Yeah. So do you think that helped you start so you did
for sure.
You did the co-working space, you use that knowledge to scale it.
Yeah.
And then you went and started a interior design company and event space.
Yes, that's right. Okay, so maybe I get to the interior design company first. So the interior design company is called Phantom Projects. So the reason why we started I had a partner for this business. So
you have a partner for it?
Yeah,
okay.
I have a partner for this business. So the reason why we started business is also the same reason why, because we saw a problem when we faced, because I studied interior design, right? And he was an interior designer. So a lot of designers, right, they there's two sorts of designers in Singapore in a sense. One sort is what we call sales designers, where they do the design, they do the project management, they do the client management, everything on their own. And then the other kind is interior designers, where they have a team running. So actually, for a lot of
what do you mean by team running?
so that there is a few people in one team to manage one project.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So and there's the other kind where it's one person managing the project and the client, everything on their own. So it's mainly split into these two types of interior design.
I see.
firms
Okay.
locally.
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of very good designers that it's on the one person side, the sales designer part, right? They are very good at designing, but they are not good at project management. So they do not like to run the projects, deal with the clients and stuff. So we basically provide a project management service for this group of designers. Yeah, so that was a problem that we saw, and then we basically come out with a system, a project management, our own project management system and stuff to help them project manage all the projects and stuff. But I did not do this business for long as well. I think about close to 1.5 years, because I had the co-working stuff going on, I have the event stuff going on, I have the interior design business going on. I told my partner, hey, this is impossible, man. Let's just I'll give you all the shares. You continue the business, because I think this business still have a future, but not with me being too so occupied with everything. It just makes it a bit, I would say, half-ass in a sense, for all three, rather than me focusing and doing it properly. Yeah, you can run this You can run this alone a lot better rather than having me alone.
Yeah. So that was 1.5 years, and so you're no longer doing that anymore.
Then, yes.
I see. Okay. And then how much did you sell? Like, did you sell your shares for a lot? Was it like
No, I just basically gave him a company.
Yeah.
I gave him all my shares.
gave him all? Why didn't you just keep the shares?
I just do not. I mean, personally, I believe also because like if I were to keep the shares, I mean, I know him as a friend. He might not do it, but he could have just go out and open a separate company under his own name and call it a different name and take over all the existing customers. Which I mean, like, no point, right? Might as well just give him, like, it makes no difference ultimately. So if we were to close down the company, or if I were to stop, he could have just done that. So I decided, hey, never mind, it's okay, just have all the shares. Just move on. They move forward with our life, and I don't have to worry about whatever. Like to worry about this, you can focus and just continue with the name, and continue it.
Yeah. And did it affect your other businesses negatively? Is that why you took that decision?
Yes, because too much time too much time and effort is needed to grow that. So I was just it's all about which business has the most potential. Yeah, it's not really about how which business can make the most money. It's purely the decision ultimately came down to which business has the most potential, and I have to focus on that business. Yeah, I've learned what I can. I have gained a lot of experience running the business as well. But the next step is which business has the most potential, make use of whatever I learned, and push that forward.
Yeah. Well, when you were, I'm assuming the friend, your ex-business partner, he came to you with the idea, and you kind of had the same kind of thing. Like what?
No, actually, I had an idea.
It was your idea, and you went to him.
I went to him.
So you were already doing this co-working space when you had that idea.
Yeah.
Were you doing the event space as well?
The event space came later.
Okay, so you were doing the co-working space. Why did you actually decide to take on another business? Was it were things already like going well with, like, could you see yourself removing yourself from the business? Like,
because honestly, for the co-working space, didn't require too much of my time. It was just purely running on its own. It was just a rental business. It's a property business. So of course, there's a lot more things that can be done, which is exactly what I did after I left the interior design business. But during that time, we were just renting out rooms and renting out spaces to people. So it was quite hands off. But I mean, there's still a lot of backend work needs to be done. There's a lot of viewings needs to be done, maintenance work, coordination with different tenants and stuff. So it still work, but I wouldn't say it requires a lot of the time every single day.
Yeah. And then when did you decide to start the event business?
It was just after I left the interior design business. I was thinking, like, hey, like, how can we sort of with the co-working space, what is our strength, and from this strength, right, how can we sort of scale and grow, moving away from just purely as a co-working space. Yeah. So that's where we started like events, and actually now we are trying to launch a website as well. Yeah, e-commerce website.
Yeah. Was that also a problem that you wanted to solve? Like did you have that same problem? That's why you started that business, or yeah, what was the motivation behind starting it?
The event business, actually there's two parts to it. So one part is where we have two event spaces that we because for all our locations we have communal spaces for our tenants, but we realized the usage of communal space is actually really low, and usually not many people even come to the communal spaces. So basically what we did was that we converted the communal spaces into event spaces for the weekends. So during weekdays and times where it's not used by events, it's the communal space of tenants. Then during when there's events, it's an event space. So we just added in use for our communal spaces rather. Yeah. Then the other part of the event side is actually we have this event called Meet and Make. So basically, when I was a maker myself, when I was running my furniture business, right, I did attend quite a few makers market kind of stuff where you have a table and just go there and sell. But we realized that a lot of times the organizer basically just have the table, sit down, wave bye-bye to you, and you never ever see them again. So they do not do any marketing work. They do not help you push anything at all. So we realized that what is the point of even going to such an event? Because most of the vendors actually don't make money, by the way, for a lot of these makers markets and events. I would say majority don't make a profit. The reason why they are there is purely just like sometimes for exposure, and then they just wanted to try out events. So I was looking at this and like, hey, why do makers want to go down to this makers market even though they don't make money? Then their answer to me was they want the exposure. So like, okay, if you want the exposure, right, how can we maximize this? So for me and Mick, how we design the event is that instead of just selling products off the table, which is really, really very hard, because when you're walking past the table, right, looking at a product, you don't know the maker, you don't know their story, there's no connection there, people just walk right past. But when you run it as we run it as an event where you have to physically sit down at the table to make the product instead of just buying off the table and walk off. And we do a lot of background work and a lot of marketing for each individual maker. So every single person get their own sort of customized campaign, customized video, and customized photo, and customized shoot as well. Personalized shoot rather. So we try to push exposure as far as possible, and at the same time, right, helping the makers build a connection with the people buying their product. Because when you sit down, you have conversation, and when you have conversation, the chance of them coming back is feeling higher. So that is how we decided to do Me and Make. Yeah, and that's how we operated it. We have already done two events, both events at Jewel. So one in March, one in June. So we have one more coming up probably around Christmas period in December.
Oh, that's really interesting. I love that, because I've been to, maker markets as well. And like, I think it's nice to like, people go there to like window shop kind of, you go and it's very passive, and you might not know the story behind it, but I think like when you get hands-on, you get more of that experience. And I think that's super interesting. Very creative way. And do you think like from a business point of view, like, do you think it has a lot of potential?
It would not grow very, very big. Of course, we can do a very, very big event, like for example, Artbox, and you have like hundreds of vendors and stuff. But ultimately, honestly, the reason why I decided to run this event is purely for experience as well. So I mean, you realize a very common theme of a lot of things I do. It's just for experience. Yeah, I don't. I mean, of course, the event shouldn't lose money or lose too much money, or financially must make sense. But I do it just to get experience. Like how do I run an event? Like how do I set up this event? Who should I bring in? How to do logistics? How to do the marketing? How to do everything behind it? So I'm very fascinated by how all this works. Yeah, and also seeing your idea coming into fruition, and also making sure everything works and work very well. Yeah, that is what sort of pushes me and drives me on. And I think for me, it's just about learning this and how can I use this in the future, and for other businesses in the future that I'm going to do, how can we maximize whatever we have.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Out of the 4 businesses that you've started, which one do you think from a business point of view has been the most successful?
Probably will be the co-working space for sure. Yeah.
So how much, do you mind sharing like how much revenue roughly do you make
Currently,
on a monthly basis?
We are probably doing about 80 to 100.
80 to 100. So you scaled it to roughly the same as or is the profit margin roughly the same?
For profit margin definitely be lower.
So why do you think it's more successful, even though it's like not making as much profit?
It has a lot more potential. It has a lot more potential, and also it's a more sort of stable business where you just handle a lot of the miscellaneous stuff. So it's not as much work in a sense.
Yeah. And that's to use success.
Yeah, because this is because the reason why I say this is a success is that this is not the last business I'm going to do for sure. So I treat it as this business operating gives me time and space for me to try out different things.
Yeah.
It's because of that, for me to try out different things, and also for me to explore and plan myself the ultimate business, in a sense where it's like the business where I can really scale something really huge. Yeah, everything I'm doing right now is planning towards that.
Yeah. How do you deal with so many things going on? Like you've got four outlets, and then you've got this event business, and then at a point in time you're running also another company. Like, what does your day look like? What does your week look like?
And I have 2 kids, by the way. So it's quite crazy actually. But I mean, I say that is why I say just now that my wife has been amazing. She helps me a lot in a lot of the things as well, and she's very supportive of what I do as well. So, but I mean, it's just about maximizing your time every single day. That's it. Every single day, from the moment you go to work, just 100%.
Yeah.
No sitting down, doing nothing, surfing the web and nothing. Just sit down, get stuff done, move on, get stuff done, and move on. That's it.
Yeah. What how do you manage your time? Do you have any tips for time management?
I think just doing whatever that is the most important on hand straight away. Yeah. Just get things done. I think a lot of people procrastinate too much and keep dragging. For me, no. I mean, like, once I have something, I get it done and get over with it. Yeah. But other than that, I think the second point will be to I think especially for younger people just starting out, is to be conscious that this thing will take you a lot of time in the first place. Like, running a business will take you a lot of time. You cannot have the mindset of starting out, hey, this can be a side thing and stuff. When you are needed, no matter what time is it. I've gone down to my co-working spaces at 2-3 a.m. to solve like a water leak or some problem. These are problems you just have to deal with. There's no getting around it. And there's nothing much to get angry about. So that's it. It's quite sort it out. And
Yeah. Do you think you're overall just a positive person?
I would say overall, yes. But of course, I think for every single person, you do have negative thoughts, like at the back of your mind. It's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible. No matter how hard you try, there will always be. But for me personally, how I deal with it is that I think I have that self-confidence in me I mean, I've been doing this for 7-8 years. I have that self-confidence in me to solve any problem that comes up. I mean, one thing is also, I'm not afraid of failure. Yeah, I honestly, I'm not afraid of failure. If I fail, so be it. Experience, move on. Yeah.
And now that you have a family, you have 2 kids, like, do you think you're still not, there's no, like, do you think the fear of failure comes up sometimes now?
No.
Still no.
Still no.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is that how, do you think that's just down to your self-confidence then?
Yes, I would say that there is, partially it'll be down to like self-confidence for sure. And secondly, it'll be experience because I've tried so many different like business before and did so many things before. So to me, I have failed. I mean, not say failed, but I mean, I've been not a business successful. So not, I wouldn't say, I won't call every single business that is successful, but the, the, the thing is that even in failure, right? It's just about self reflection and learning from the experience.
Yeah.
There isn't really much. To me, being angry or being whatever with a problem is just not my style. I don't ever get angry over any issues. I just get away. I don't know. I am not sure why I'm that way. I'm not sure why I'm wired that way, but it just works for me.
Yeah. It's not something like you have to really think hard about. It just comes naturally.
Yeah, it just comes naturally. Yeah.
And was there ever like a lowest point for you? Did you ever feel like there was a day where you wanted to give up or you found really challenging?
I mean, for sure. I mean, every single day is it's not easy. There's always issues that you need to solve. But uh, even right now, honestly, like it's not easy. Like making sure everything works and everything runs. There's always problems that you need to solve. But having all these issues, it's better, honestly. Having problems in business is better than not having any problem, because when it comes to problem, you learn a lot more and you learn a lot quicker compared to having something that is smooth sailing. Yeah, because when it's smooth sailing, then it's some problem you're not seeing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing though. Like you started 4 businesses, but in a way there was no like failure, quote unquote, for you. Like, did you ever lose a lot of money? Did you ever, yeah. Like even your first business, you wanted to leave, but you were still making good money. It was just that you were burnt out.
Yeah.
What do you think's been the number one failure for you?
Number one failure, probably not spending enough time with my kids. Yeah, I would say that more than or with my family in a sense. But of course, I do as much as possible. I do try to make time. I don't go to. I'm not like a workaholic where I stay in office till 10 or 11. I do go home like pretty on time nowadays. So try to put in a bit more effort. But during weekends, I don't really get much time off. So yeah, I don't really have like off days in a sense. Yeah, that have like they can I bring them out. But of course, my schedule is up to me. So nowadays, I try to be a bit more flexible and have some days off.
Yeah. What's your most favorite thing about being a business owner?
Favorite thing. I think this might sound a bit weird, but it's the challenge. It's really the challenge. Yeah, it's not easy, but I don't really like to do easy stuff as well. So I relish the challenge every single day to wake up on time every single day, 7 days of the week to go and sort everything out.
Yeah. What's your least favorite thing about being an entrepreneur?
Least favorite thing is that probably the freedom. Yeah. I mean, of course, you and having to deal with problems that like 24 hours, 24 hours standby. This a lot of the time is not dictated by you. Yeah, it's not dictated by you. So there's always that. Then the back of the mind, of course, there's something bad that might happen. And one thing about being a business owner is that you're responsible for everything. Yeah. If you are just working for someone or you screw out on your part, that's it. But as a business owner, you are legally responsible for everything, even your workers and whatever happened at your place as well. So yeah, it's about dealing with all these things. Yeah.
Yeah. When you said freedom, so lack of freedom, because I think a lot of people they look at entrepreneurship like, wow, I have so much freedom. Like you said, you can dictate your own schedule in a way. But at the end of the day, you're still 24/7 standby.
Yeah, correct. I think it varies a lot from different businesses as well. So for me, because of the nature of the business, we have to do it. I have to do it I'm limited. But as I mentioned just now, I mean, hardworking is or having that drive in you is the most sort of fundamental thing that almost every single person should have in order to be successful, I would say. Yeah, there's a lot of other external factors at all, but if you do not have the drive in you, the chances of success is pretty low. Honestly.
Yeah. What drives you?
What drives me? In a way, you can say fear of failure also. Yeah, like waking up, like trying to make trying to prove that our concept is actually like workable and successful. Yeah, that is probably then what really drives me forward. And also trying to, of course, provide a better life for my family. But like I say, we're comfortable in that part, so it's probably not now. But earlier part, it's probably like to make as much money as possible. I mean, who doesn't want to have that, right? In a sense.
Yeah. Do you think you're motivated by money?
No, because if I am, I could have made a lot more.
Yeah. Why do you think that is?
For me, I rather look at the long. I don't want. Okay, let's just put it this. I don't want my success to be luck. I don't want a business that I build and be successful is purely based on luck, which I think after analyzing a lot of businesses, right, there's a huge portion of them down to luck. So I want to make sure that whatever business that I'm doing, it's down to me, decisions made by me, and the way I do it. Yeah. It's a bit of a funny way to think of it, but I do not want my business to be successful down to luck, because if it's successful down to luck, when I'm unlucky, you lose it. Yeah. But if I can build a business where it's structured and it's well thought out, and I know exactly what I did to make it successful, it makes it a lot easier. Yeah.
So how does money play into that? So you're saying money, if you're focused on money, you're really just thinking about being lucky instead of like thinking, okay, I need to focus on building structure, making the right decisions, doing my due diligence, instead of being like, okay, what can I do to make the most money?
Yeah. Sorry, can you read?
Yeah. So I basically, because I asked you like, essentially, why don't you make money your priority when starting a business? Because I think a lot of people that go into business, like, it is important to think about making money, but you don't want it to be the number one priority.
I would say rather, I mean, like when you make 3,000, you want 5. When you make 5, you want 10. When you want 10, when you have 10, you want to make $20,000 a month. But when you reach that stage, right, you realize even $20,000 a month is not a lot. So I've been through that stage in a sense where, okay, like 20,000, but actually it doesn't make a huge difference, a huge dent in your life. Honestly. Although, yeah, you can get nicer stuff, you can buy expensive clothes, you can buy expensive watches and nicer cars and whatever. But ultimately, it doesn't change much about the. It's still, your life is more or less the same, although with nicer stuff. But I want to build a business that can be worth hundreds of millions, not few $1 million, not to make a few $1 million. If I set a challenge for myself. If I want to do it, I'm going to do it big. I'm not going to just not for the short term. Yeah, it doesn't make a huge difference to make $500,000 a year.
Yeah. So for you, it's money is shouldn't be a priority at the beginning, because if you're going to build something worthwhile, you need to think much longer term instead of just like going in for the cash. And
because a lot of huge businesses like you see all around us is not built in 5-10 years. Some of them takes 50, 100 years to build. So and the chance of I would rather say the chance of building a very successful business in a very short amount of time, it's very, very low. Yeah. So it's not it's in terms of the risk part, the risk part is not really worth it to even try.
Yeah, it's true. It takes a long time, but then you get these people, building software apps, running these small business, online businesses that can make crazy amounts of money. Like Be Real, the app. Yeah, he's just a kid and he sold it for $500 million.
Yeah.
So there's definitely like anomalies like that. But I think with social media, I think it can be easy, and I'm guilty of it too. Like it can be easy to look at those examples, thinking, yeah, I can do that. So then when you make 10, 20K, you're like, that's not enough. And then you're just going to get like sucked into this rabbit hole of chasing and ultimately never being satisfied.
Exactly. The probability is just too low to even try in a sense.
Yeah.
So that is why I'm doing the not really the right way, but the way that I believe that that fits me the most. Yeah. That I think that in the long run this will benefit me the most and benefit even my kids the most, because I can teach them when they're growing up, like, hey, how can you do all this? Yeah, rather than I make $10 million, so to solve the business, but I don't know how the hell did I make $10 million. See?
Yeah. And so at the end of the day, what do you think success looks like to you?
Honestly, I've never thought of like the end at all yet. Yeah, I don't really have an end goal in mind. I just want to continue this and push it as far as I can. Yeah, I do not have an end goal in mind or like a specific dollar value. Or like, never I have ever crossed the mind. I want to have $50 million and stop. That is just not how I approach it in a sense.
Yeah. So how do you set goals then? Like, is it just really week by week, year by year kind of thing, or?
I would say it's a day by day thing. Yeah, I just push as hard as I can every single day. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. It sounds like you actually don't worry too much about the future. Like you kind of just take things day by day.
Yeah, because too much things to worry about. I don't want to sort of worry about what's going to happen next month, tomorrow, next year. It doesn't matter right now. What matters right now is today.
Yeah.
How can I improve today? How can I push more today? Yeah.
And do you think that was a mindset that you had to work on, or was that just it? It was just part of who you are.
I think it's probably stems from when I started because I have to deal with so many different clients and like you get involved in the business like day to day and you're just constantly working on it. And it's just part of like from the experience I get during that period.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think sometimes when you don't have too much to do, you can also like just worry too much about the future.
Actually, when I have nothing to do, I get worried. Like, why am I so free? it's a bit funny, but when I'm free, I feel like
there's something wrong.
There's something wrong. Like there's just a feeling inside me I should be doing something right.
So that's not your end goal, is to retire or anything, or?
Actually, when I started, I was thinking, I actually can retire right now already. Like why am I doing all this? But after doing like whatever I'm doing over the past few years, I don't think I want to. I don't think I'm a person that can really stop in a sense. Not anytime soon at least. Yeah, I might get sick of it someday, but not right now.
Yeah. Do you ever envision yourself like? Do you think you'll have loads of businesses that you've started and like scaled to where they're managing themselves, or are you still gonna be very hands-on?
I think end of the day, I'm still a very hands-on person. I like to be involved in whatever that I'm doing. I'm the kind where if I can't do it myself, I won't ask you to do it kind of person. Yeah, I think the philosophy that I live by is like, well, if my guys like if I'm not going to do this right, I won't ask you to do it with me. Yeah. So even for the events and stuff, right? For the first event, all the setup actually we did it ourselves. Even myself, I did go down to the event, I set up the tables and stuff with all my teammates, all my guys as well. I say, I need to know how to set this up in order to tell you guys how to set up next time. If I don't know, I just come and leave you guys to it, right? Or whatever, right? When there's an issue, we have to solve it all over again. I rather stay till 3 a.m. do this together and make sure it's right.
Yeah. Is that because you find that if you kind of like stop caring so much, it's going to be more of a headache, that you rather just be involved and get it done properly the first time?
For sure.
And do you think that sometimes affects your ability to delegate?
Yeah, for sure. But I guess I think I'm still in a phase where I don't think I'm ready for the ultimate business. I call it the ultimate business that I want to do yet. So the reason why I do, like I say all along, is just for experience. I just want to learn how it's done. Yeah. I learn by doing. Let's just put it this way.
Yeah. All right. Second last question I have for you. If you could go back in time and talk to your younger self and give one piece of advice, what would you say to him?
What should I say to him? Maybe make some more time for yourself. Yeah, instead of focusing so much on work. Yeah, but there's always pros and cons for everything. Of course, if I were to make more time for myself, I might not be where I am today. So yeah, it's about keeping up that the energy and the drive.
Yeah. And how do you think you would have done that? Sorry, I'll add one more question. How do you think you would have done that if you went back in time to when you started your first business? How could you have made more time for yourself?
Actually, I could have taken it as a hobby rather than like full-on business. When I decided, like that at that point of time, like 2 or 3 months in, I don't know. I did not know why I decided to make that decision as well, to focus more on the business rather than building the best piece of furniture or the perfect craftsman. Right? Because almost every single creative person out there tend to go towards that direction, where they are very focused on making sure that piece that they build is perfect and amazing. But I'm not sure why I physically told myself, I want to focus on the business, not on that. Yeah, of course, with the product we deliver is still up to scratch to what the customer is willing to pay for. That's for sure. But when you delve too deep into making sure that it's like you spend way too much time compared to what clients paying. So yeah.
Yeah. Last question. If everyone was watching right now and you could share one piece of advice or a message to the world, what would you say?
I would say, if you are ever thinking of becoming an entrepreneur, especially in Singapore, just do it. Take the first step first. Whatever comes after, you solve the problem, because every single day in life, it's basically just a problem solving process. So just start something that you are comfortable with, and step by step solve the issues. There's no two ways about it. There's no easy way out of it. Yeah. Even if you start out with a lot of capital, right, it's still the same. The process is still the same. Whether it be $100 or 10 million, 100 million, you start a business, the overall process is more or less the same. But of course, the scale is different. But if you don't have the experience when doing it small, you can do it big as well. Yeah.
Start small and then just keep improving.
Yeah. It's the daily self-reflection to improve. Yeah, I would say that is the biggest part to for me that works. Yeah.
Awesome. That's it. Thank you for your time, Brandon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool.